Alright folks, Pitching Case 88, we are back playing Criminal Case on Facebook. We're on case 5 of 6 of New Haven. We are almost done with this part. Nope, we don't want to go to 4. Shear murder. Nice. Well, you've been doing a smashing job at the flying squad since your arrival in Concordia, Ace. Not the least of which is keeping any hint of complicated work off my desk. Well, not only have you solved 4 murders, you've already uncovered pockets of corruption within the Concordian Police Department. A young officer manipulated into destroying important evidence under the duress from one of the city's most undesirable individuals was found to be responsible for starting the Concordian fire. And at the same time, there are rumors that a large number of Irish immigrants are being exploited as cheap labor. Well, to top it all off, according to your sources, a leading member of the Irish community may not be as respectable as we think. But with the Irish population in Concordia growing by the day, your search is going to be difficult. Well, I'm afraid that'll have to wait, Arthur. I've just been informed that a dear friend of mine, Maximilian Poe, has been found dead in his greenhouse. Max is, or was, a keen businessman who had a rough time of late. His wife Valerie tragically passed away 6 months ago. Understood, Commissioner. Ace, you're going to have to put everything else on hold. I need you and Detective Bontemps to get down to Poe residence quick smart. No problem. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Grimsboro. Just gotta have a lot of friends, have them get you through the case. Oh, Madeline's here. Maddie's here. Nice. Ugh. That is just... Some of these murders here are brutal because they don't have like guns and stuff. Cake server. I see the kite and the windshield. Oh, to spoil. Man, then we'll just see a picture of baby Ace. Well, unless death by garden shears is a leading cause of accidents in New Haven, the master of the house appears to have been murdered. I'm no coroner, but it does not take an expert to realize that this man was stabbed with those garden shears. Richard should be able to tell us more. Oh, thank heavens, the flying squad. Poor Master Poe, this is so... Calm down, my dear. What is your name? Audrey Scott. I work in the master's kitchen. We'll try to relax, Miss Scott. Senior Trooper Ace will need to have a word with you in a moment. Before we do that, Ace, I noticed you astutely observed a fingerprint in the icing on that cake server. With luck, it'll be good enough specimen to find a match in that catalog the department is compiling. Right, Ace. The Commissioner and the Chief are counting on us to solve this murder. We mustn't let them down. I agree. And because I don't have any stars, I need to go grab them. So I'm going to go do that. I will be right back. This has been Pitching Case 88. Au revoir. Alright folks, Pitching Case 88, we are back. Let's interview Audrey. Now, Miss Scott, is there anything you can tell Senior Trooper Ace about what happened here? Well, I brought Master Poe a high tea on the terrace, but before we get him back to preparing tonight's roast pheasant, when I came to clear the dishes, I found him murdered, and his signet ring had been stolen. The killer stole his ring? We'll make note of the theft. Now, is there anyone you can think of who may have wanted to harm Mr. Poe? Well, Master Poe never told me anything about his private affairs. I'm just a kitchen hand. I know my place. But he was so generous and kind. He was always a true gentleman. Why would anyone want to kill him? One could pray to work in a better household. What am I going to do now that the master and the mistress are gone? Oh, no more tears. Well, please keep the house open, Miss Scott. We may need to return with more questions. Yes. Who wants to say that there might be some hanky-panky going on with them? What do we think? Do we think hanky-panky? This one. Good show, Ace. You found a match for the fingerprint on the cake server on the person of Sheila Black. Miss Black was recently with our victim. The logical solution is to speak with her and find out what she knows. Interesting. Sheila Black. Pardon me, Miss Black. St. Trooper Ace would like to ask you some questions about Maximilian Poe. He has been found murdered. Oh, good heavens. Max is dead? I only just saw him this morning. Oh, that poor man has suffered nothing but misery since his wife Valeria died. And now this. How are the two of you acquainted? Max and I have been close friends for years. Since his wife's death, he'd been very unhappy and in a bad way. Naturally. He's been seeing the doctor nearly twice a week. All I could do was be there for him in any way I could. I never thought it would end like this. Well, we're deeply sorry for the loss of your friend, Miss Black. If you think of anything that could help us catch this killer, do let us know. Well, it sounds like Maximilian Poe has had a rough trot grieving the loss of his wife. But why would this end in murder? Tip-top thinking, Ace. Miss Black and Poe was receiving frequent medical treatment. Quickly, to the doctor's office. Yeah, I've been playing Criminal Case for 3 years, too. It's nuts. Crazy to think I've been playing for that long. Alright, a satchel. Satchel's definitely new. Yep. Our victim's physician seems to be out on business, Ace, but I see you've already picked up some clues. A gander inside that leather bag is certainly a wise course of action. Those initials are the same as the victim's. Likewise, that medicine jar appears to be part of the victim's treatment. Retrieving that faded section of the label should tell us more. I agree. I definitely agree. Business card. Blast! That card you found in the victim's bag is torn. Pieces of paper won't do us any good. But you've proven to be adept at putting these sorts of things back together, Ace, so I'll leave this torn card in your capable hands. Yeah, I really like these games, and plus no one else plays this game. Like some guys upload spoil videos, but that's dumb in my opinion. You gotta play the whole game. Marvelously done, Ace. You reveal the details of your victim's treatment. The victim was receiving a rather hefty dose of laudanum, prescribed by Dr. Ezekiel Jones. Well, this is clearly the physician we are looking for. Let's find Dr. Jones and ask him about the victim's frequent visits. Ezekiel, man, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Don't be fooled by the fancy writing. That's a threat if I've ever heard one, Ace. Mourn no more, for you shall join your beloved. The killer must have left this card for the victim playing some cruel mind game. Obviously, the card isn't signed, and there aren't any other distinguishing marks to identify this message's author. But you may have a point, Ace. It is possible the message could be a quote of some description. Perhaps Miss Holloway can tell us more. Oh, Ezekiel Jones. Oh, I get it. I get it now, guys. I get it. I get it. Dr. Jones, I presume? This is Senior Trooper Ace. We're from one of the Concordian Flying Squad. I'd like to ask you about one of your patients, Maximilian Poe. I will assist in your inquiries to the best of my abilities, but confidentiality will limit what I can talk about, naturally. Well, I'm afraid those rules no longer apply. Mr. Poe has been murdered. Murdered? How horrid. Truly devilish tidings. We understand Mr. Poe made frequent appointments of late, and it appears you were prescribing a rather aggressive dosage of laudanum. Well, I admit the prescription was quite high, but Maximilian was very depressed. A more sorrowful case of grief I have not seen. Laudanum is known to have powerful antidepressant qualities, nothing like a jolly dash of opiates to put some color in one's cheeks. Beyond his medical status, I'm afraid it cannot be of help. Apart from the death of his wife, Maximilian never confided me about his personal affairs. Well, we appreciate your time, Dr. Jones. We'll let you get back to your patients. That could very well be. Could very well be a Jones thing. Anyways, we'll speed these things up. Finish off chapter 1. Surely you've made some headway with that message I sent you, Miss Holloway. You've been swirling through your books for hours. I'm afraid not. I searched through the entire archive, and this message is not a direct quote from any existing literature, be it poems, books, or otherwise. It's a genuine murderer's original. Well, this is hardly the time for jest, Miss Holloway. We're trying to find a killer. Quite right, Mr. Von Temps. Well, now, while the message doesn't tell us anything about the killer, the letters themselves do. This text is written in copperplate, a specific style of calligraphy. Although quite popular, copperplate is very precise script that requires particular training and penmanship. Which means you're looking for a killer who writes calligraphy. Oh my word, Miss Holloway. A clever deduction, if I do say so myself. Our killer writes calligraphy. Oh, Richard, my good man, not much of a challenge to this one, I'm afraid. A straightforward case of stabbing, I imagine. Yeah, it's rather disappointing, as I really could have used the distraction. I'm doing some experiments on the effects of sleep deprivation, and I'm exhausted. I haven't slept a wink in 3 days, but as yet, it hasn't affected my clear judgment, Miss O'Malley. Richard, I'm Von Temps. Of course you are, and you are right, quite right. It doesn't take a genius to conclude the victim was stabbed with these garden shears. The crucial detail was hard to spot, but even a lack of slumber couldn't make me miss. The killer made a critical error. On the handles of the garden shears, the killer left behind traces of naphthalene, an organic compound most commonly found in mothballs. Well, extraordinary, the wonders of modern forensics. I wager a killer would never expect something as simple as mothballs could be their undoing. Well, I'm as eager as you are to get to the bottom of the willful destruction of police evidence, Ace, but the Commissioner insists our priority is solving Maximilian's murder. Let us review the facts. The crime was reported by Mr. Poe's kitchen hand, Audrey Scott, who seems to think that this could have been a robbery. The victim's longtime friend, Sheila Black, was at the Poe residence this very morning and has indicated the victim has been understandably depressed since his wife's passing. And in all honesty, Ace, if the victim had been stabbed with those garden shears, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a simple case of suicide. Senior Trooper Ace, my conscience will not allow me to remain silent any longer. I am the one who killed Maximilian Poe. Yeah, I doubt it, but we'll go along with you for the time being. Alright guys, I'll see you guys in chapter 2. This has been Pitching Ace 88. Over and out.